Sneak Peekers, happy Thursday and welcome to our first episode for South by Southwest 2015.
All the segments tonight are from last week's South by Southwest Film Festival.
I'm so excited, I can't wait.
Well, great thing, you don't have to. Roll the intro.
It feels so good to be back. It's finally starting to feel like summer here in Austin.
I know, the sun's coming out, people are hitting the pools.
Life's pretty great out here.
But on to this episode, we've got some prime material just for you guys.
We've got a South by Southwest red carpet interview for the film Adult Beginners. Roll it.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Selena DePaz, and today we're at the Top Fur Theater talking to the cast and crew of Adult Beginners. Let's go see what they have to say. In this movie, you lend a helping hand to your brother who's in need. What is something that you learned from playing Justine?
That, I think, sort of the challenge of having a family, I think, and I think the challenge of tragedy. I think that they have a big tragedy in their past and what happens because of that, the cause and effect of a tragedy. And I've had friends in my life who've had that as well, so that was a really interesting thing to tackle.
And I'm sure that there are a ton of behind-the-scenes things that happen that the audience doesn't get to see. Is there one that you remember that you'd like to share?
Oh gosh, what did we do? We had a lot of fun. You know, the little boys were so cute who played my son. They were constantly, saying radical things out of their mouth that we we had to try and rein in.
And you've worked in a lot of drama and comedy, both at the same time. Which do you prefer? Is there a different way that you get into the mentality of working one versus the other?
I don't know. Not yes and no. I mean, often with the comedy you're doing a little more improvising, so it's less script-based, so it's a little bit more loose. Whereas drama, I've not really experienced that with drama much. So that's one big difference.
And so your character in this movie has to reach out and ask other people for help. What is one thing that you learned from playing Jake?
I think I try to learn, one thing learning being a character like Jake, who's a selfish little brother, which I am in my own family, that the goal would be to learn what he hopefully learns in the movie, which is to, how important your family is and how important it is to be there for your family when they need you, and so that's something that I would try to learn.
So you're working with some really great co-stars, and it seems like you guys all get along really great. Is there any memorable moment that you have behind the scenes or on set?
We shot, there's a couple of scenes in the movie that happen in a pool. Rose Byrne, my co-star, and I don't know how to swim in the movie, and so we had to shoot in the dead of winter in New York. It was 5 degrees outside, and we get into the pool, and the pool heater had broken. So it's me and Rose and Jane Krakowski, who's on 30 Rock and now on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and then Bobby, who joins us for a couple of scenes. The pool was so cold that Rose and I don't know how to swim, but it works because it's we were genuinely scared to get into the pool.
What are you most excited for the audience to see in this movie?
Oh, it's the kind of movie that doesn't really scream comedy so much. It's sort of a very realistic look at people at an age in which they're sort of being pressured to think that they need to grow up, and how hard that is to negotiate because you want to kind of hold on to your youth, and I think that those kind of circumstances are funny. Watching people try to grow up is very funny, and hopefully this audience will appreciate that.
What kind of advice would you have for young aspiring film directors?
Don't give up. I think that the resilience is the key. I have been down and out and had difficult times getting movies made and jobs, and I just hung in there. And I think that I had no B plan, no backup plan. I only wanted to make movies, so I think if that's what you want to do, you have to just go for it.
Well, that's it from the Adult Beginners Red Carpet. Until next time, Sneak Peekers.
So many good things from this year's South by.
Yeah, man, it was so fresh. No.
I hope you're not trying to make a corny segue into the Fresno interview.
Well, you know how I am. Here's Claire with the cast and crew of the film Fresno.
Hey, what's up, Sneak Peekers? We're here at the premiere of Fresno. We're going to be talking to Aubrey Plaza, Judy Greer, and many more, so stay tuned.
I came up with the idea because I have an older sister, and I sort of drew from that and just wanting to do something about two sisters living in a place that they really kind of wanted to get out of. And also I'm kind of fascinated with addiction, and the director, her mom ran a rehab, and so we collaborated on the script together a little bit. So we, that was kind of where we ended up having, the two sisters combined with her background. And that's kind of where the story came from. Yeah.
What is it about Fresno that kind of drew you to that?
I worked with a girl from Fresno, and I remember her talking about how the first thing she wanted to do was get out of Fresno. So not that I'm bagging on Fresno, but it was kind of a town that I think you're kind of in the middle of California, and then you've got like the San Francisco, and you've got Los Angeles and all these other cities that are more appealing. And so the movie is kind of about finding your place wherever you are, but also not being afraid to break out from keeping your foot in the same place. So,
Did you have any characters in mind while you were writing it?
I always thought of Natasha for the role, for her part. And even before I even knew Jamie, I was a big fan of, but I'm a cheerleader, so I love Natasha, so she was always in mind.
So tell me how you were kind of inspired by this film. What made you want to be a part of it?
Well, I wanted to make a movie about sisters, and I wanted to make a movie starring two funny ladies that I love and adore. And so we wrote a script that was about two ladies, and I wanted to have a movie that had as many funny ladies in it as possible, because I feel like there's not enough parts out there for funny ladies. So it started with page one, and it ends with us here.
Were you a part of the casting for this, or
everything? Yeah, writing, directing, casting, everything. Yeah.
Was it filmed on location in Fresno, or is it mostly sound stages?
It's no sound stages. It's all California, some Fresno, but also some LA.
I had to get really good at sheets, a lot of sheet work, because I play housekeeper. And in my own life, I do make my bed, but not well. But I do make it, and you have very crisp finishes, crisp edges. Tricky.
First, tell me a little bit about your character, Shannon.
Okay, if you can guarantee that my stepson can get accepted into UT, can you do that? And so, yeah, I'd really like him to attend your university. Yeah, okay, great, he's in. You'll have to wait 3 years, but he'll be here.
We'll do it.
Okay, good, thanks.
So your character's Shannon.
Yes.
Are you guys similar in any way? Or?
No. Well, we both look the same, but that's just because I played her.
What do you like most about your character?
I like that she's a Krav Maga instructor because I got to take Krav Maga lessons, and that was pretty awesome. It's an Israeli fighting technique. It's not in the issues, but it's basically teaches women and men how to defend themselves in a street fight, and how to kill if necessary. So I can take you all down, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for that awesome interview, Claire.
I'm so excited to see that movie. Do you know when it comes out?
Well, during our next commercial break, why don't we find out?
We'll be right back, Sneak Peekers.
Don't go anywhere. Hey Jan, what does Guillermo del Toro, Robert Rodriguez, and the whole cast of Boyhood have in common?
I don't know what.
They all attended the Texas Film Awards last week to kick off South by.
If only Sneak Peek could have attended.
Actually, we did. So here's Shane O'Neill with the interview.
Hey guys, it's Shane, and I'm here at the red carpet for the Austin Film Society's 15th Annual Texas Film Awards. Hi. I just want to ask you, how does it feel to be honored in the Texas Film Hall of Fame? Like, when you first heard you're going to be honored, what did you react to?
Well, I was super happy because these people are family to me, you know? Louis Black, Robert, Richard, Harry, so many, you know, and we talk film very differently amongst ourselves, you know? I talk about European film with Richard, I talk about geeky films with Harry, I talk about genre with Robert. So it was vital for me at some point in my career when I was here to grow and stay in love with film.
What your relationship is with Guillermo del Toro?
Oh, I mean, I've known him since we started, and 20 years ago. And he lived here for about 3 years when I was making like Spy Kids, so we hung out a lot. But I always looked up to him as a mentor, as a brother, as an inspiration. He was a consummate artist, truly visionary, really excited about everything he always does, always thinks outside of the box. And we claim him, even though it's only 3 years. He gets to be honorary Texan because we want to put him in our home.
What are your upcoming projects coming? Are you going to be filming some more stuff in Texas?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm coming back to work with Robert Rodriguez and a bunch of stuff for El Rey Network, which is like probably unbelievable. And then we're going to do some Machete stuff and some Machete Kills in Space. And I love that. I know, I laugh every time James Bond did it.
I was wondering, look down the line maybe another 12 years from now, what do you hope for mothers and fathers to think about when they see Boyhood? What do you hope their impression they take from it is?
I hope it resonates for them the way it does now. Just about how beautiful life is, how great it is to have your kids, how we all make mistakes along the way and we do the best we can, but your kids will be okay if you really love them and protect them.
All right, thank you very much, and congratulations again. Texas has a lot of things. You recently produced The Book of Life, so when you produce Texas productions, how does it feel to have bringing kind of films away from Hollywood and other places and having them in Texas?
Well, I think that the Book of Life needed a fresh approach. We had a very tight budget, and what I can say without any fear of being wrong is that Texas films are never about budget. They're about creativity, and they have ambition, and they are unconcerned with budget. Whereas in Hollywood, sometimes they equate ambition with budget. So Book of Life was very, very beautifully birthed here.
All right, guys, that's it for the Texas Film Awards. As you can see, we have a bunch of stars here, and it's just going to be a great time. Back to you.
You know who always deserves an award? Ryan Gosling.
Seriously, he's good looking, he's funny, he can act, and do you know that he also directs?
Stop. He can do everything.
His directorial debut with Lost River premiered at South by this year, and we sent Alex to the red carpet to talk to the cast and crew.
Let's roll the clip, shall we?
Hey Sneak Peeps, this is Alex Mascareño, and I'm here at the South by Southwest red carpet for Ryan Gosling's directorial debut of Lost River. Well, how would you describe the film in your own words?
It's a story about, it's a very simple story really, and it's kind of the type of story that I think people can project onto it whatever they want. It's simply about a boy who wants to get out of this dead-end town and doesn't have the money to do it. And what I started to realise as we made the film, because you were kind of figuring it out as you went along, that we all sort of had this anchor. You know, I had my grandmother that I had to care for, and she was kind of keeping me in this awful place, and I was stuck in a rut, and Bones doesn't have the money to leave, and Billy doesn't have a job, and she's got her kids and she's got to take care of them, and so they're all sort of stuck, and they need to pluck up that courage to kind of get out eventually, you know, and through each other they all do that. So
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you. So can you tell me one thing that you liked or disliked about your character?
One thing I liked or disliked? That's a good question. One thing I liked about him is that I think he, at his core, he is filled with a big sense of love, and commitment to his family and to the people he loves around him. One thing I disliked, I don't know. I'll have to come back to you on that one.
It's
I like
okay.
everything about my character, man. Yeah.
Okay. That's a valid answer. your music? What was your inspiration?
Well, the film really spoke to me. The visual side of it, the script, the characters, the kind of abstract themes in the film. It was very easy for me to find a place to work from musically, and try to have like overarching character themes musically. Like this character represents metal, or this one is water, or this one is more like light or fire, you know. And with that, I have these kind of sonic associations with those types of universal themes. And so we started trying to build kind of like this musical alphabet that we could spell any word with, you know? And so we, like, what do we need to say in this scene and how we're gonna, you know, spell that out. And from there, and it's like about 2.5 years later, we're in Austin, ready to show it to you. Are you coming inside to see it?
Hopefully, hopefully I am. So I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you.
Well, I hope you get inside.
Thank you.
I hope I get inside.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Hi, it's
Hello.
nice to meet you.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Very good. So this is your directorial debut. What were some of the challenges that you had to face throughout the whole process?
Well, it's just, you know, you got to stick with it. It's a long process, you know. It's different when you're acting because it's like a few months, but this has been like a few years, you know. It just takes you know, it just takes more time, but in a way that's kind of the fun as well, because you get to really be in it for a long time, and it becomes like a part of your life.
What is the central message that you'd like the audience to get from the film?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's just a film about family. It's people trying to make the best of what the hand that they've been given. It's these pieces trying to form a family in like a broken situation, and I hope that there's sort of universal themes that, you know, we told it in a fairy tale sort of way so that it could be, you know, accessible to everyone. You know, it's not specific to any one place.
Thank you very much.
Man, Ryan Gosling is killing it. Actors are starting to direct, directors think they can act.
Well, South by is such a wonderful place for people to branch out and explore their creativity.
It's such a great place for creative material. Go out there, create something. We need it.
And I think it's time to take a breather.
All right, stay tuned for when we come back for more red carpet coverage. Hey Jan, what were your favorite movies from South by this year?
Oh my goodness, there were so many, from Ex Machina to Life in Color, but my favorite was The Final Girls.
Oh my god, I loved that cast. Taissa Farmiga from American Horror Story, Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect, and Nina Dobrev are incredible.
And lucky for us, Luana is here with all of them on the red carpet.
Hey guys, I'm Luana and I'm here at the red carpet of The Final Girls to talk to the cast and crew about the film. What's it like incorporating, you know, comedy into a character like this one?
You know what's so great about this movie is that there's so many different aspects to it. There's the comedy, there's the horror, it's also an emotional story, you know, it's about a girl dealing with grief and then seeing her mom. And everyone plays their part perfectly. When I read the script, it was kind of hard to tell, like, all right. I mean, it's words on a paper, and sometimes you can envision it and it comes to life. Other times it's like, I don't know what to see. So the director, he did a, I forget what it's called, but it's like a little clip of like images and videos put together that like shows you what the tone of the movie's gonna be like. And then I met with Todd, this guy, he's great. And this guy, he's so cool. And I loved his vision. I loved what he had to say about the movie, and I was like, I need to work with this guy.
So tell me, what drew you to this character?
Oh goodness, I love this character because she's so many characters in one. You know, at once she's Taissa Farmiga's mother, and then in the other moment she's this one-dimensional character in a really bad 80s film who then realizes that she's mortal and starts becoming a three-dimensional character. So she has this beautiful arc throughout the film.
What was it like participating in a film with so many genres in it?
Oh, it was so cool. I mean, there were so many times where we kind of went, what are we making? What are we doing? This is amazing.
And I think that was really smart, and I think that's what's going to attract people to this film, is that it will appeal to so many different people, and it's funny, it's scary, it's tender, it's touching, it's everything that you want in a movie, all encompassed into one.
What drew me to this character was that I'd never done something like this before. My character's sort of this like rich, kind of borderline bitchy, mean girl, but she's not really mean, she's just being honest, but she's so honest because she's so blunt that it comes across bitchy, but she just wants, like, she has the best intentions. It's like, I've never done that before, so it was fun. And this movie is original, like, we've never seen this kind of movie before, so I just wanted to do something that I'd never done before.
Tell me a little bit more about your character.
Chris is like the nicest dude in the world, and he's just like the man of the movie. You know, he has to protect the whole crew. He has to come into his own and really. He starts off this kind of insecure guy, like everybody is through high school, and really has to come into his own throughout the film.
What drew you to this film?
Well, they offered me a part, and no, it was a great film. Like, for a moment I read the script, like, this is something I definitely want to do. It's so fun, and you don't really see movies like this produced anymore, at all. So the fact that I had an opportunity to be in here, I'm like, yeah, done. No matter what I'm doing, no matter what else in life is going on, I'm like, I'm there.
Was it fun, you know, wearing these different outfits because you're in like the 80s and stuff like that?
It was definitely something that I don't normally wear because they don't make shorts that short anymore. So it's definitely leaves little to the imagination, but it was definitely fun to wear.
Did you do squats in preparation?
I couldn't bend over. I couldn't bend over. Squats were out of the question, 100%.
It looks like I'll be seeing that movie.
Same. I think it's going to be a classic.
Oh, you mean like Harry Met Sally?
Exactly. And did you know that Billy Crystal is making his first TV appearance in 30 years?
Didn't we talk to him at South by?
At the premiere of his new show, The Comedians. Roll it.
So how far does all this go back? I know it's based on a Swedish show, but was it brought to you? Did you stumble across it and say, we gotta make this for America?
A guy named Mikkel Bondesen, who is a producer and who's also Matt's manager, came to me and said, you should see this Swedish show. And at the same time I said, well, what about Nixie? We should bring him on because we're friends through Matt. And he said, that's a great idea. So I watched it, he watched it, we thought it was hilarious. We then found out that Billy Crystal was interested, and we found out that Larry Charles was interested, and it was sort of this, it turned into this kind of, like, do you want to also work with these comedy legends? And we said, yeah,
that
we'll
sounds
do
fun.
that.
Why, yes, actually.
Yeah, so it seemed kind of, I wasn't doing anything else that week, so so we did, and it just turned into this amazing collaboration.
I'm confused because you seem very nice, and I like you. In the show, you seem a little bit edgier and meaner, but you're still playing yourself. What's this process like?
There's a thing called acting that you make believe to be other things. No, that was the most daunting aspect of The Comedians, is playing a heightened version of myself that is not in line with who I am as a person, and trusting the audience enough to be in on the joke and know that we are exposing ourselves and all of our insecurities as celebrity and all of the things that people think about you and the projections that they put on you. And so playing within those confines is very challenging, but also greatly rewarding, because you're truly getting to play with people's minds in that way. It's where it's like, does Josh really do that, or no, I don't.
Do you think it's harder playing a version of yourself than just a totally new character?
I think it presents a different set of challenges. I mean, I think that it's hard to. It's only hard in that you are putting a version of yourself out there with your name on it, that, again, you hope people get that it's a show and that that's not you. In the vein of This Is the End, with those guys playing themselves, it's the same kind of conceit.
Well, it's going to do great, so good luck,
so much.
and thanks for talking to us.
So
you messed up. Because you got out of TV a long time ago, and now this thing's going to be a great hit, and then now you're going to have a commitment. What do you think?
I know I was stupid. I waited 30-something years for this and did nothing in between. No, after all I've done, and when the Swedish company sent the show to me, I went, this is really funny. And these guys are hilarious. And the premise was so strong of a veteran comedian being teamed with a younger guy to do this late night sketch show. And in the Swedish version, they really, really don't like each other. So, well, we have to have a little bit of that, but that's exciting. So the show is awkward. I like that it's awkward. I like that it's unpredictable that way. People may think that they know me and Josh will see a different side, and they just know me longer than him. So I said, well, I get a chance to play characters, make up new characters. We have a live show that we do in the show called the Billy and Josh Show within the comedians. So here I'm doing everything I love to do, so why not? So I just jumped on right away and put the group together, and then here we are.
Josh Gad could be the Billy Crystal of our generation.
But Billy Crystal is so iconic, unforgettable.
That one scene from When Harry Met Sally is unforgettable.
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh, but do you know what else is unforgettable? Sneak peek.
Tune in next week for more South by Southwest interviews, movie reviews, and all your celebrity gossip.
Have a good night.